All right. Hi, guys. This has been a while coming. It's not what I planned on doing. I had some health issues. It was a dental issue that I had some surgery, dental surgery done, major drilling, and swelling and infection in my sinus. And it was all fucking bad. Anyway, so this is a long time coming, and I'm in a lot of fucking pain. I really didn't want to do this today even because I'm in a lot of fucking pain, but it's got to be done. So excuse me if I stumble, but my focus isn't quite what it should be when dealing with pain. We all know what that's like, especially facial and sinus pain and that kind of thing. It's difficult. So I'm going to do my best to get through this because it's just got to be done. And plus I'm going away, so I want this off my fucking plate. So I'm doing this in segments. I'm recording this at my kitchen table, and I'm going to be adding in the newest term, I guess, is receipts. All right, so we're going to bring the fucking receipts. All right, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to download this, and I'm going to do my little magic over there, and we'll be putting stuff right there, in that spot right there. As I go on and talk, I'll add it in and bring in the receipts. Let's fucking do this. So yeah, excuse me, I'm going to be stopping and starting this video while I deal with the pain and make sure that I get all of the content in that needs to be in. And let's put this fucking shit to bed, because enough is enough. All right, here we go. Now, if anybody knows anything about me, threatening me? Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's just gonna make me dig in deeper. You get that? You want to come at me? Let's go. So, for many years, the cannabis community, I mean, like any community, there's good and bad. You know, there's players from both sides in every fucking community. And since I entered onto the scene, sort of becoming vocal and active member participating within this cannabis community over the course of the last 20 years here in Ontario, I've been very vocal. If I see shit that, in my opinion, is wrong, I speak out. That's what I've done for almost 50 years, advocating for this plant. It'll be 50 years next month that I've been advocating for this plant. Started consuming when I was 13 years old, 1976. I started speaking out publicly in 1978. In my own circles since 1976. 50 fucking years, folks. All right? You think you're going to stop me? Nobody has yet. Bring it. Let's do this. When I see shit that's wrong, I'm going to speak out on it. I've done so for over 20 years. And you don't have to be my friend for that to happen. Let's be clear. I have stood up for people in this community that I don't particularly like, because I know what is being done to them is wrong. So let's get that straight to start with. Because I know a lot of people out there are like, oh, well, that's her friend and this and that and the other thing. Bullshit. And if anybody knows that, Naomi Poldy, you do. Because we're not exactly friends. And I fucking stood up for you too, right? So let's get that straight right now. All right, so as most know, there's been this ongoing fucking torture session, is the only word that describes what has taken place over the last 4 years against a patient in the cannabis community. I'm not going to get into how it started because I don't know. Only the players in the immediate circle know for sure exactly what happened. The victim in all of this, which is exactly what she is, by the way, the victim in all of this has traumatic brain injury, brain cancer, and a piece of her fucking brain missing. Now, if she had a physical look to match her deficits that's going on with her brain, none of this would be happening. But because she doesn't have a physical look, she's a target for people's fucking hate. Because I don't even know why. I don't even want to get into it. But that's what we're going to be talking about, all right? Is the target of somebody's hate. It started with one group of people that got a ball rolling. I don't know for sure, but it's my belief that once that ball got rolling, they basically walked away. And other people grabbed that ball and ran. And have been running ever since. And it's been 4 long fucking years. And this is bullshit. And I'm going to bring it all out. Without getting into the origins. Because yes, they are the culprits that started it all. 100 fucking percent. But I wasn't privy. I wasn't part of it. And I wasn't in the circle at that time. So I am not going to speak to it. Because I don't know for sure. I speak to facts that I am aware of, and that's all I speak to. Okay? So let's be clear on that. The players that grabbed that ball afterwards and have run with it ever since, that's what we're going to talk about today. So for about 4 years now, I've been having conversations with, of course, Sherry Ann Baker. And her and I have not always seen eye to eye. Oh, I can't even smile. Sorry, that hurts. Just the pressure on my smiling on my lip is actually shooting pain up into my eyeball. Excuse me. But anyway, we've not seen eye to eye. We are on opposite sides of issues and debates more often than not, right? That's okay. People don't have to agree on shit. I don't know why in today's world y'all think everybody got to fucking agree on everything. It's got nothing to do with who she is, if she's a good person or not, whether or not I agree with her. So, for about 4 years, I've been hearing this young lady, talking and complaining about her haters and people that follow her around and, report her stuff and just, generally giving her a fucking hard time and literally making her crazy, making multiple profiles. And I mean, the way she carries on in the beginning, first little while when I first got to know her, she's a lunatic. She sounds like a crazy lady, right? But then when you drill in, and you find out everything she's saying is because people are actually doing this shit to her and stalking her. That's enough to make anybody crazy. I mean, I don't have a piece of my brain missing, and just thinking about what she goes through each and every day with these people stalking her and her having to defend herself and justify being able to live. That's enough to put anybody over the deep end. Now imagine going through that for 4 years. So in the last 6 months, I did some research. And I did it because I brought Sherry Ann into my network. She joined the NOK network team. And as soon as she did, all that hate she has been talking about, and the stalking and the harassment, the bullying, all of it, all of a sudden, I started having it. I started getting all of these profiles that were haters reporting me, and all of this. As soon as I started going into negotiations with Sherry Ann in January of 2026, everything went crazy on my network and we started getting flagged. So I spent much of February and March fielding messages from people and having conversations with people about bringing Sherry Ann onto my network. And I couldn't believe how often I had to defend my decision to people that I knew. It was baffling, still is, to me. You know, and it showed me how things can snowball. Because many of the people that were involved in the participation of gaslighting this individual did so almost innocently, if that's even possible. Unknowingly, they got swept up in a roller coaster that was going downhill fast. It gained momentum and became a thing of its own. And it was really wild to watch. People that I know, that I respect, that are my friends, that I know are intelligent, would get caught in like a whirlwind going by, and they got sucked in. And they're like, yeah. And then I talk to them and I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, fuck. Yeah, fuck. And then they back away because they see. Those are the intelligent ones that chose to look, really look at what was taking place. A lot of people, I'm going to name names, a lot of people that I'm going to talk about here aren't actively involved in trying to gaslight somebody. A lot of people got swept up in what became its own entity. And all of this has been started by a very small group of individuals that has a hate on for somebody. And everybody else piled in because, oh, it's my friend, and oh, it's the trend, and it's, oh, it's what we have to do, and oh, everybody's doing it, so it must be so. And everybody just piled on. A lot of people did so, are sorry they did now. And hopefully after this, even more will be sorry for their behavior. And if you are one of them, understand, because I'm with you. I was too for a little while. They had me for a minute, just for a minute. Then you got to look, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look. Okay, so back in March, I'm part of I have been for the last several years, part of several group chats, both on Facebook and Instagram. All of us in the cannabis community are in all these various chats, right? So I'm in one on Facebook, and yeah, we're naming names. Herbalistic, right? We all know the chat. Okay. So I'm over there on this chat, and all of a sudden it starts popping and exploding, and Coach Mike's chat, and he advertises, you know, his events and stuff that are taking place there, and lets everybody know what's going on in his neck of the woods, and events that he's hosting and stuff. So all of a sudden, I guess it explodes up in March, and one of his events got shut down by bylaw. I mean, all of our events have been shut down by bylaw since bylaw got the rights to shut them down, right? Law enforcement passed that over to bylaw a few years after legalization because they didn't want to waste their fucking time with popping, you know, grassroots events anymore with legalization, so it got passed down to bylaw. I've been dealing with bylaw forever. So that's why traditionally with events, and this is going back 20 years with 420s and 25 years ago with 420. God, I gotta stop smiling. So when we're hosting an event, the location of the event is not announced until after 5 p.m. on a Friday, because that's when the government offices close and by law can't get the paperwork to come and raid you because they're closed. They can't do it till Monday morning, and by then the event is over. That's the way Karma Cup was held for 10 years, and that ended in what, 2022 or 2023? You know, so 2013. This is the way it's done. Always. We've been running for fucking bylaw for over 20 years. Okay. So we announced the venues on the Friday after 5 p.m. So I don't know what the ins and outs were. I don't recall. It was back in March. But Mike was having an event and it got shut down by bylaw prior. Now he blamed Sherry Ann Baker for calling bylaw. I challenged that. I said, no way. No fucking way. No fucking how. No way. It didn't happen, Mike. There's no way. I challenged him. I said, how do you know? He told me in the chat, all right, hopefully it's coming up. He told me in the chat, and then we spoke verbally too, so I don't have that, but he did tell me in the chat that it was, he had his receipts and that he was going to tell me about it. I said, okay. And then later on, we spoke on the phone, and he told me that his cousin worked for bylaw and that he took the report and that Sherry Ann Baker is the one that filed it. I said, show me the paper, Mike. He says, I've got it here. I'm going to scan it. And he made all this thing about how he was going to take a picture of it or whatever, and he was going to send it to me. Never arrived. He got booted off of fucking Facebook, and all kinds of shit happened shortly after that. But all of this was taking place in a chat with over 45 participants in the chat. Okay? All of this is fucking going on in this fucking chat. I might be confused on the order of what's going on. Like I said, I got a lot going on here. But anyway, that was back in March. I challenged him. I said, no fucking way. I don't believe you. I called him a liar. It didn't happen. And he got shut down. He's blaming her, and he's lying about his receipts. Because I asked for them, and he can't fucking produce them. Where are they? Okay. That story then, over the course of the next 3 months, evolved. I spoke to 3 or 4 different players that was going on at that time. Prominent people in the cannabis industry, okay? Including Sublimator Warrior, including Mama T's Medibles, right? Including several others that were in there. I even talked to several, I'm not going to mention other names because I haven't cleared it with them yet, but lots of prominent people in the cannabis industry. And they heard different versions of that same story. Oh yeah, somebody recognized the voice to be Sherry Ann's. She never gave her name, it was a voice. Yeah. So other versions of that same story started floating around in the cannabis community, and it got changed here and there. And it gained momentum, and it got a life of its own. No receipts ever happened. And I got bombarded on my network, on my own personal pages. I even have a 1-year-long contest going on Facebook for somebody to win a judge's kit, okay, to predict how many days I will be not in Facebook jail, because I'm reported so often since the start of this year, since I started standing up for Sherry Ann Baker. All of a sudden, I'm the target of the same kind of vendetta that she's got against her. And they're forcing me to defend myself again. Because I'm standing up for a member of the cannabis community. Because I hired a member of the cannabis community and a patient and an advocate. I started getting the hate that she's been subjected to for 4 years. So I started doing some digging and asking around and asking some questions. I got access to a few things, like how long people have been in her circle and different stuff like that. Okay, so now everybody knows that I'm defending Sherry Ann. I've gone public with that in the chats. Everybody knows I'm digging, because they see that I'm digging around. People are starting to chat about me asking questions and doing my thing. And next thing I know it, that same herbalistic chat explodes. And sorry, Naomi, but there it is. Somebody told Sherry Ann that Mike was accusing her. Sent her screenshots, I guess, and Naomi Poley put it on me. Oh, it must have been Kim Cooper. Dragging me in, again, being accused wrongfully with your assumptions that you're making about everybody, going around and talking from one event to another, to this table to that, saying the same story over and over and over and over again. Naomi, you and I have never seen eye to eye on a lot of things. But I've always tried to have respect for you. I've always tried to give you a wide berth, a smile and wave. I attend your birthday parties when I'm in town. Buy you fucking plants and trees for your yards. And I fucking stand up for you when nobody else would. But there I am, with my fucking name coming out of your mouth, accusing me of being a rat. Just the same as you accused Sherry Ann of being a rat. Naomi, I think you're innocent in all this. I really do. But darling, you gotta stop trying to fucking fit into these cliques. Because that's exactly what's happening. Everybody's trying to fit into these cliques, these people that sell fucking whatever, and it's like, oh, I gotta be their friend, and if I do their bidding, then they're gonna be nice to me and give me shit. I really think that's what it is. These fucking little cliquey fucking movements. Jumping on bandwagons. And then you say the same thing at 15 fucking events, at 30 fucking tables, and now it's a thing. Because, oh my God, everybody's saying it. And oh my God, everybody's talking about it, so it must be true, right? That's how this shit gets the life that it gets. That's how it happens. Wake up. Fuck, man. All right, so moving forward, those chats basically disintegrated, of course, you know. There was a lot of bans. There was a lot of reporting going on after that. I personally think that people are in these chats are reporting friends on purpose just so that they can blame it on their target. That's my personal opinion on what's happening, and how I come to that conclusion we'll get to down the road. But that is my personal opinion. That they are so determined to prove their case that they'll throw anybody under the bus. And create the circumstances to say, see, I told you so. And we all know that happens on a regular basis in this world, so let's not fucking kid ourselves, all right? So I think that's exactly what's taking place here with that whole banning bullshit that's going on. It's also got to do with algorithms and bots and all of that shit combined, so it's, yeah. But anyway, that's another subject. I digress. Hang on, let me give me a sec. All right, so summer came. Sherry Ann has her show on my podcast. Life happens. I got busy. The chats still exist. And I think my being in them is a thorn in many people's sides. And that's why I stay. I probably would have left long ago. But I know it bugs people, maybe me being there, so that's why I stay. Live rent-free in your house, in your head. I'm good with that. So yeah, I stick around, and it keeps me in the loop, right? So I stick around in those chats. And Sherry Ann has a podcast on, and she's doing interviews, with people in the cannabis community, same as I do interviews with people in the cannabis community, same as, everybody with a podcast over at, 420 Radio and Lifestyle Radio and what is it called, Pace Radio Network and, all of the podcasting networks out there that do interviews with people in the cannabis community, just like I interviewed Sarah Sunday for the Karma Cup back in 2014, and every year after that, right up until, 2022, about her event, and Ashley Kalia about Lifted, and, we all doing all these wonderful interviews with people in the cannabis community about their events because, we want to promote you. That's what we do while we're podcasting. So a little while ago, Sherry Ann did a show where she was promoting an upcoming event. And I was supposed to be attending that event as well. She was going to attend that event as well. It was being hosted by some really good friends of ours. And so, she had them on her show to talk about this awesome event that was going to be coming up. And, they plugged their event and, plugged the company that was doing it like they do at the end of the show and everything, and it was a great podcast. And, we couldn't wait to be a part of it. So, was really happy. We were happy, and the hosts of the event were happy. The mics. Peace, guys. Love you. I'm going to be in town when it was planned for. We were all going to go. The NOK Network crew is going to come, right? We're all happy about it. And so we're plugging it on our podcast. I guess something happened. And the event organizer that has the event space has been contacted by bylaw. And it's been shut down. The venue is no more. Well, that a chat exploded that a video was put up that explicitly blamed that podcast for outing it, saying the podcast host did it. I'm gonna put that right here.
But I can just stay quiet about it. There's people out there that consider themselves part of the community. They consider themselves somebody that's big in this industry, where you believe that you're somebody in this industry. Like, God forbid, maybe in the beginning you were. Maybe you were somebody that actually influenced people. People, you changed lives. But all of a sudden you just decided to destroy it, just like you tried doing with Legacy Entertainment. You know what I mean? You are the reason why we're stepping down. It's people just like you. Like, hate is an easy thing to do. And the hate in your heart needs to get fixed, because you need a prayer. You need something. You need a hug. Because right now, you're a fool. You know what I mean? You did an interview last weekend on Sunday on their podcast. You know, our company name was mentioned. Not even 1 hour later, like all our posts started going down, reported, just like it did the Danforth when I ran it then. You're doing it again. For what? You called the AJCO. They went to the venue where we didn't even have a venue. We didn't even have an event. And they're asking for footage and talking about there's a cannabis event. It wasn't a cannabis event. Who said it was a cannabis event? I want to know. But you're making yourself look like a fool. And that's just that. That's the reason why Legacy is done.
Okay. No. That's not what happened at all. It was an interview. And the mics were promoting their event. This is how shit happens. This is how people pile on. The name was in his head. And so he puts that video out. Oh, he took it down after. Doesn't matter. Damage is done, right? Also, big, huge discussion in the chat. Because here we go on the Insta chat now. Here we go. All right? Here we fucking go again. And lo and behold, what happens? NOK Network gets a message threatening to shut me and my podcasting network down with their 30 profiles. They are going to make sure that they will pummel me into non-existence. With their 30 profiles. Who owns that? Who's saying that, you wonder? This guy and his lovely wife. So I do some digging and I do some research. And lo and behold, he works for just about everybody in the cannabis space. And this is what he's been doing to Sherry Ann for 4 fucking years. This guy has been going to Coach Mike, AJ, Sublimator Warrior, everybody in all of the spaces, slinging his fucking garbage with him and his lovely wife, and their 30 profiles have tortured and tormented a patient member of the cannabis community with fucking brain cancer who's missing a chunk of her goddamn brain and has cognitive difficulties. And they have actually been gaslighting and torturing this woman for over 4 years. So now he knows that I'm coming. And what does he do? He come after me. I have 2-factor authentication on all my fucking platforms. Every fucking thing I am connected to on the web, you have to sign in on my personal device with authorization codes or you don't get in. Think I'm stupid? You fucked with the wrong lady. I got you now. Who's got that much time on their hands where they can create 30 profiles to gaslight a cancer patient and then run around and convince reasonable people to join them? Some actually went to the point of accusing Mike of being in on it. That's how desperate they are to hold on to the narrative. They looked at Mike and said, "Oh, you're part of it." Can you imagine that? These people contacted other businesses and said, "Stop your communication with Sherry Ann Baker or we're coming for you." Really? So 4 years ago, she snubbed him. And now he won't let it go. The man is a fucking lunatic. And anybody that supports this or supports him is no better than he is. So he wants to come at me? All right. But he can do this. 30 profiles. He's going to do everything he can to shut me down because I won't comply with his directive. He's going to take me down, another member of the cannabis community. How many other members of the cannabis community has he taken down to obtain his goal? Anybody that's going to report my event for spite, he put it in writing. That's what he's going to do. It's his intent. Did he already do it to you? I wonder who called. AJ? How many other events have been canceled? So he and his lovely wife could run around and say, I know who did it. You messed with the wrong person. I had no problem outing Amy Brown when she ripped off a patient after her package got confiscated by Canada Post and the RCMP, and she refused to give that patient a fucking refund or a replacement order. I had no problem outing Dana Larson when he praised Prime Minister Trudeau the day the RCMP ran over protesters with their horses. I have no problem outing Mark Emery for being the sexual predator that he has always been. You think I'm going to have a problem outing you? You don't know me too good, eh? Yeah. And anybody that follows this guy, like I said, yeah, you lay with cockroaches. You must be a cockroach. I don't know what else to say, but this hate platform has got to stop.